Baby, I'm excited because I'm going to take you to a national park that has more glaciers than Glacier National Park.
They should totally rename it.
They should, but they haven't. And also, this is going to be the most rugged terrain and dramatic views along the Pacific Crest Trail.
Sounds beautiful.
Where are we taking everybody?
We're going to go to North Cascades National Park.
Put your seatbelts on.
Because here we go.
This is RV Destinations Podcast.
Welcome to the RV Destinations Podcast. How's everybody doing today?
I am snazzy. How are you?
I'm doing good. We're still here parked in Palmetto, Florida.
Palmetto. You're very enunciative.
I'm enunciating my T's.
Palmetto.
There's two T's.
There,
I got
right,
two,
so
two.
it's Palmetto.
Anyway, we've got beautiful weather.
Yes.
It is December
What is today?
The 9th?
It is the 9th.
Yeah, we're here.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us today. We've got a really special treat for you today. We're going to take you back out to Washington. We actually recorded Walla Walla, Washington earlier today.
We did.
So we're going to be in Washington twice today. And we got some special guests on the show, don't we?
We do. We have new guests, and it's exciting.
You want to introduce our guests?
I do. Hopefully, they're still going to like us and want to hang out with us after today's podcast.
Exactly.
So, fingers crossed. So, with us, we've got Thomas and Victoria Bosh. Hi, guys. How are you doing?
Hey, y'all.
Hi, a lot colder than you are.
I know you guys are still sitting out there, right, in Washington.
Yeah, it's a cool 36 out right now in December.
Woo. Wow, that's brisk.
Yeah.
That is brisk. That is not a brisk that I want to be in. I am sorry that you guys have to be there, but it's beautiful. It's beautiful, but I'm sorry about the cold weather.
Yeah.
Maybe we could start out telling a little bit about your guys' self, if you don't mind. So you're
you guys are-
full-timers, and you're a traveling nurse, correct, Victoria?
Yeah, so I've been traveling. Both of us have been traveling since 2020. We decided to hit the road. I kind of threw it out there as like a random idea. Maybe we should just get an RV and just take it full time. And he just jumped on the idea, and here we are.
Yeah, and keep in mind,
Perfect.
neither one of us ever been in an RV prior to living full.
Well, you guys might have gotten a little bit of a rude awakening there, You get into an RV and you're like, no one told us about this or this or this or that or that
You
this
mean
would break.
I got to clean my black tank, you mean?
Well, I'll tell you what, 4 years into it, still a learning process. So.
Oh, it is. We are 12 years, almost 13 years into it, and still a learning process.
Exactly.
Yep, it never ends.
Now, what kind of rig do you have? Tell the listeners a little bit about your rig there.
So we have a 34-foot Dutchman Kodiak Ultimate. It's a travel trailer.
Very, very.
Oh, okay, nice.
Yeah.
It's just long enough for both of our dogs to be able to get the zoomies back and forth.
That's right.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. The zoomies in an RV is so much fun. We've got two good-sized dogs, and the one will get zoomies sometimes, and she's back and forth, and everything's rocking and a rolling.
So sometimes I get zoomies and run back and forth when I get done with 4 or 5 podcasts. I've got to run back and forth.
Randy, I would love to see that.
We'll get that on video.
Right. Next podcast.
All right. So now you're parked. You're parked not too far from Cascades, correct? Is that where your campground is? Not too terribly far?
Yeah, so we're currently located in Moses Lake, Washington, which is in central Washington. That's the hospital that she's working at currently, which is about 4 hours from North Cascades.
Yeah, and we're actually in an area of Washington called High Desert, which most people didn't even realize that there's desert in Washington, but here we are.
Mm-hmm. Very cool. So, yeah, because you were sharing with us that the precipitation there is a little bit different. Because I know when I think of Washington, I automatically think of Seattle, and just gray and rain and depressing. But you said it's not so bad there.
It's not it's definitely still gray, but it's not quite as rainy. It just is overcast, and it only sprinkles here and there, so it's not too bad.
Okay, that's not too bad. I would say I could handle that, but I'll take Florida.
Well, I was thinking that, Cody's considered a high desert.
Yeah, but it's very...
it's cold there too. It's just it's the precipitation that
it's not the sunshine that defines a high desert.
Well, I'm not sure about that, but I know it's the rainfall.
Okay,
it's very little rainfall.
Well, that
and the
makes sense.
Cascades kind of help where you're at because you're on the east side of the Cascades, correct?
I think it blocks all of that. Exactly.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It's got you got a big umbrella called the Cascade Mountains.
In fact, whenever we just went over the Cascades, that's when we saw sunshine. So you just go right up over the hill and there it is.
Oh, very, very cool.
You're like, oh my gosh, it still exists. Woohoo!
Yeah, I'm excited to come out and see it. We've driven over I-90, and honestly, I thought that went through the heart of the Cascades, but it doesn't. It's just the bottom tip. I looked at a map right before we got on the podcast. It's just the bottom sliver. You got the whole national park above that.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
It's a big
one.
area.
Yep.
Yeah. We're excited to talk about it, and we're going to give you some time at the end of the show to talk a little bit about your channel. I want to get that out there to everybody.
For sure.
That's so. You've got a real popular YouTube channel and some other things going on, and we want to, give you time to talk about that. But right now, let's talk about some fun facts of the North Cascades National Park. I've gathered some information here. I've got 15 of them. I don't know that I'm going to go through all of these, but I'll go through some of the ones I think that are very interesting. The first one is that there's more glaciers in North Cascades National Park than in Glacier. You wouldn't think that, but that's
fascinating.
True. There's over 300 glaciers. Now, they've got what's called named glaciers, and they have glaciers. When they're under a certain square kilometer or something like that, they don't even name them. They got to be over a certain size. And so they've got 300 total glaciers, of which 93 of them are named. To put that in perspective, a glacier has 90 glaciers with only 25 names.
So I feel like the guy that came up with the name for Glacier National Park and Cascade National Park epically failed. Like, it should have been.
Well, Glacier's a lot older of a park, too. Glacier's been around
so that
for
guy was
a
like,
long
we're
time.
calling it Glacier. And then they went further west and was like, oh, dang.
There's more.
Yeah.
Right, there's more. I missed that one.
Yeah, so North Cascades is often called the American Alps because of the dramatic, rugged terrain, including over 300 glaciers, more than any other national park in the lower 48 states. Its jagged peaks, deep valleys, and alpine lakes make it a paradise for adventurers. Yeah, very good.
Yep.
The park is home to 93 named glaciers. These glaciers are a major feature of the park's landscapes, and are key parts of the ecological and hydrology.
Yeah, say that again really fast.
Hydrology.
What is hydrology?
Study of water?
I guess. Now I got to Google this. You keep talking.
Are you familiar with hydrology? Did you learn that in nursing school?
Yeah, my schooling would tell me that is definitely the study of water.
I know when it's ology, it means study of something.
Yeah, it is. It is the scientific study of water.
Okay. Well,
hydrology. Who
Interesting.
knew?
New word. I'll put that in my vocabulary.
I learned something new.
The park is part of a larger wilderness area. North Cascades National Park is part of the North Cascades National Park Complex, which also includes Ross Lake National Recreational Area and Lake Chelan National Recreational Area.
Got
Did I
it.
pronounce that right?
That's right.
Okay. Okay. The entire complex spans over 1.5 million acres, offering ample space for exploration. Big park.
Yeah, if you look at the Washington map, it looks like it takes almost like an upper third of the entire state. It's pretty big.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's crazy how big it is. I had no idea. And again, my little, I thought when I went through I-90, I saw most of it, and I had no idea that
I saw the park.
and that, but that part across 90, when you go over the Cascades on 90, that's a beautiful drive.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I can't even imagine what the rest of the park looks
I
like.
believe that area is called Snoqualmie Pass, and we actually just went through it a couple of weeks ago, and it's just absolutely beautiful there, right over 90.
All of the Cascades.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
I just remember, and it's been many years since we've been on it. I've driven over it 2 or 3 times, but I remember waterfalls like everywhere you turn. Just and I think it was in the spring when I went through there, so that would make a lot of sense coming, with the snow melting and all that stuff. So. The Cascade Crest, the Cascade Range, which runs through the park, is famous for its volcanic origins and tectonic activities. The range itself is a continuation of the Pacific Ring of Fire, making it seismatically active with.
Seismatically.
They put the
Would it be
they put the
seismatically?
ly on it, threw me for a loop. Seismatically active and occasionally earthquakes and volcanic eruptions. It's a haven for wildlife. North Cascade is home to a wide variety of wildlife, including black bears, cougars, mountain goats, marmots, and bobcats. The park is also home to some endangered species, such as the Canadian lynx and the gray wolf. It's very rich in Native American history. It's considered, which is very interesting. It's considered the Cascade is considered a place of many waters.
Okay.
Walla Walla.
Walla Walla.
Walla Walla, the Walla Walla tribe.
Right. Call
is
it a
considered
place of many waters.
Yes. Did you
Interesting.
guys know that? We just did Walla Walla podcast right before we got on here with you. And Walla Walla in the Walla Walla Native American tribe means place of many waters.
Really?
Wow.
Very interesting. Popular destination for climbers. A couple more here. The rain shadow effect. Due to the location along the western edge of the Cascade Range, the park experiences what's called is the rain shadow effect. This means the western side, where the Pacific Ocean influences the clients, is wet and lush with dense forests, while the eastern side is drier with drier, more open landscape and alpine meadows. That's kind of what we talked about. The Cascades kind of blocks a lot of that rain, making it a much drier climate.
Climate. Client.
Did I say client? Makes it a much better client.
It is a good client, though. You know.
Climate. North Cascades has some of the oldest rocks in the region. The Highway 20 Scenic Byway, North Cascades Highway, U.S. Route 20, which runs through the park, is one of the most scenic drives in the country. Have you guys been on that?
Yes.
Oh yeah, it's the main road.
Can you concur?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's a pretty one.
Okay. It's open only during the summer months, typically from late June to mid-October because of heavy snow in the winter. Along the highway, you can enjoy sweeping views of the mountain peaks, lakes, and glaciers. It's also a dark sky park, which is pretty common with a lot of the new ones.
Yep.
And then, well, that's it. We'll just end it there.
Okay. Just there, abruptly.
Well, the next one is about a famous mountaineer that climbed Mount McKinley, and he
but
came
we
down
don't
here
know
and
them,
help track. Well, okay. Hudson Stock in 1913 was the first person to successfully climb Mount McKinley or Denali, whatever you want to call it, up in Alaska. He was a prominent figure in the early exploration of Cascades National Monument. He helped, North Cascades National Park, and he helped blaze a lot of the trails, improve access to the rugged region. So,
okay.
So anyway,
That's interesting.
That was the last one.
Okay.
I didn't feel it was worthy, so I just skipped over.
Poor guy. The poor
Poor
guy.
guy.
I know.
It sounds like an impressive feat.
Right, exactly.
I climbed,
successfully climbed a few mountains nobody else could.
Denali National Park, the highest peak in North America, and that's not important enough to be on the RV Destinations podcast.
Right.
All right, fair enough.
Wow.
All right, you ready to get started, baby?
I am.
Let's get in the top 10.
All right, we're going to start at number 10, which is the Mazama General Store. And this is in the little town of Mazama. Now, is that actually in Cascades National Park or North Cascades National Park, or is it right outside? Or how'd you guys find this place, and what do you do there?
So Mazama is actually one of the very last small towns that you'll reach on the east. No, sorry, I don't know my directions.
Yep, it's east.
Oh yeah,
I don't either. It's okay.
on the east side of the park before you reach it, and it's a really, really cute store. It has all of the things that you could possibly need: hiking, camping gear, food, nice hot coffee. It's just like anything you can think of, and it's only, I think, 15 minutes from the park entrance.
Yeah.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, I'm on their website. And, of course, the first picture that pops up, because it's 5 o'clock and I'm hungry, is this delicious-looking cheeseburger on some homemade, locally made bread there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that looks delicious. So did you guys grab anything while you were there that you recommend?
Mostly just snacks, but I will say that their coffee shop is to die for. We had a seasonal coffee that was absolutely delicious.
Yeah, and I mean,
I am all about coffee.
And honestly, like she said, it's pretty much got all of your supplies there. We weren't doing any backcountry hiking or anything like that, but if that's something that you're doing on your way into the park, it's definitely a good stop.
Nice. Yeah, it looks super cute. Again, on their website, they have bird houses for rent.
For rent?
Yeah, for rent. And this is what I'm trying to figure out. I'm clicking on it, and it's not. They rent out birdhouses. I guess if you want to rent one versus buying one for, yeah, okay.
And they also have craft fairs and live music and all of that as well.
Nice. Well, it sounds super fun and super cute. I like that. We came across in Polebridge in Glacier National Park. They've got a big general store that is known for their, oh my gosh, what's the name of the berry out there that we had so much of?
Huckleberry.
Huckleberry. They had huckleberry bear claws that they're known for. So I don't even know how far we had to drive to get up there, but we got the huckleberry bear claw, and it was pretty amazing.
That sounds
it was delicious. Yeah. Yeah, so that general store sounds super fun, but then I'm always big about visitor centers. So I love that number 9, you're saying stop at the North Cascades Visitor Center, because I feel like no visit to any national park, state park, any area, even a town, is complete until you go to the visitor center and really find out what's the best thing to do. So when you guys went there, what was kind of the goal of what you were looking to accomplish? And I understand there's a really cool sign there too.
There is a very cool sign there. Like you said, if you're going to a national park, visitor center should be your first stop, because the rangers are super helpful to help you find everything. In this particular case, because we were camping at a state park on the east side of the mountains, the visitor center is all the way on the west side. So it's about an hour and a half drive just to get to the visitor center. So unfortunately, we didn't position ourselves in the best spot for that, but we did make the trip over there. And just down the road from the visitor center, I mean, you got to take your obligatory national park sign picture, right? Like everybody does.
Absolutely. Sure. Yes.
Well, this one's really cool because it's like a rock pile that the sign's like placed into. So it's very different than I think this is our 16th national park. The 15 other ones it was very cool.
That's very cool. I see your picture here, and it's really neat because stupid dumb question, and I'm going to ask it anyway. Fake snow, I'm assuming, on the top, or real snow?
That was actually fake snow on there. And besides taking your obligatory picture, I also always have to get my passport stamped. So that also makes it very important.
It's pretty much the main reason she likes national parks. She's a big
to get the stamp.
I'm the same way. I have my book, and I just realized,
baby,
what?
We don't have to drive anywhere. Just get the stamp. We're good. We can go on to the next one.
But you know what? We never got the book stamped at Glacier. We epically failed on that.
That's
totally failed on that.
Yeah, were you even there then?
No, it didn't even count. Now
I've got pictures. I got video actually too.
Yeah, we do. But I guess we're just not there.
Yeah, but I mean, obviously the visitor center, we're kind of nerds about this kind of stuff. So, we like to go in and read all the completely useless information to us.
It's not useless, but you learn a lot of geology, how it was formed. All of that.
Right. But for a place...
They're like during the Mesozoic phase, and I'm like, I don't know what phase that is, but okay.
Right, exactly. But yeah, super useful for all the information we were looking for.
Perfect. Well, number 8 sounds like a lot of fun, and that's camp at, how do you say it? Pearrygin? Pearrygin?
I think it's Pearrygin. Yeah, so it's
Pearrygin?
It's one of the state parks that are in Winthrop, which is also a town that's very close to the Cascades. Once again, on the east side. It's actually a very big park. It had a whole bunch of different sites. Some of them are primitive. Some of them have full hookups. And it's also got a lake that's really cool to check out.
Yeah. And only
nice
towns, so it's perfect.
Oh, even better. Now, I'm assuming you guys didn't camp there because you're set up shop where you're setting up, but you did explore the park and just enjoyed some time there?
No, that actually is where we camped.
Yeah. Oh, really? Oh, my gosh. Okay. My bad.
Yeah.
Very cool. Okay.
They're just outside. I don't know. I guess it's 40 minutes outside of the park.
Yeah. So even if we're based somewhere kind of close to it, we do like to still pick up our RV, pack up everything, even though it's a pain, and then try to get as close as we can as wherever we're going.
Nice. So it looks beautiful. I pulled up some pictures on the website, and it looks like a beautiful, beautiful state park. Is there anything in particular there in the park that you were just like, wow, this is really cool? I really enjoyed that.
Well, obviously the lake, we're big time water people. Unfortunately, we were there in shoulder season, so it's not temperatures you want to go wander out in that lake in.
I imagine it's very, very fun in the summer, and it looked like there was a ton of people that had boats out that way, so
yeah,
it's definitely something to check out.
Yeah, there was a lot of people enjoying it.
Fantastic. Awesome. That sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was very cool.
Number seven takes us over to hiking to Ladder Creek Falls, and these falls sound absolutely beautiful, and I understand that they do something kind of special at night, so tell us about this.
Yeah, so Ladder Creek Falls is actually right beside the visitor center. So if you're looking for like a short hike, good bang for your buck, want to see a waterfall, this is a really good one. And actually a lot of the trail is paved, so it's pretty accessible. But once you get up to the falls, you actually walk by this, what would you call it, a hydroelectric building or something. And turns out if you're there at night, it lights them up in all sorts of colors.
Oh, how fun. That would be so cool. Well, this time of year, you don't have to wait till night. It just, happens around 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Or
and
4:30.
Go over and check the, right.
You're telling me.
Go over and check out the lights.
Yeah.
Now, all trail shows it's only a half-mile hike and it's super easy. Can you confirm that? Okay.
Completely easy. You can get it done in 25 minutes.
Yep.
Oh, nice. I love little quick, easy hikes like that because, Randy and I are pretty avid hikers and we enjoy some big, hefty hikes. But sometimes it's nice just to do a quick, easy, see something cute, see something nice and pretty and head back. And I'm sorry, I'm like getting crazy distracted. So our one of our dogs, Zoe, she's the boxer, she is just yelling at me
She's
right
talking
now.
to us.
She is totally talking. I don't know if she's in the back like,
Mom,
Yeah.
pay attention.
Right, exactly.
I want attention. Ladder Creek Falls Trail is dog friendly. Dogs can be on leash. It says there's only 72 feet elevation gain, and it is currently 37 degrees. So I wouldn't recommend going there right now.
Well, you could just bundle up.
That's right.
And-
And,
yeah.
since it
Could
is
you?
paved, might be a little icy, so just be careful.
Oh, for sure.
That's right. Absolutely. Yes. We always like telling people just go prepared. Like do these things, but go prepared. I feel like a Boy Scout every time we head out to do anything these days, whether it's a hike or even just going to the grocery store. I'm like, okay, we're going to the grocery store. I got my jacket because it's going to be 40 degrees colder inside the grocery store than it is outside, regardless of where you are, But yeah.
You are just
Anyway.
like a boy. Always prepared.
Always prepared. That's why Randy is sitting outside in the Jeep waiting for me and always going, what takes you so long? Well, I had to grab a jacket and an extra set of shoes and another pair of socks. And what if I need a long sleeve shirt? And I have my sunscreen too. All right. So number 6 is the Washington Pass Overlook. And this sounds like it's another short kind of trail / overlook, but definitely worth a stop. So tell us about this.
Yeah, so Washington Pass Overlook, with parks like North Cascades, we're kind of just like you were saying with you and Randy, that you like to do more challenging things, but it's nice to sprinkle in the smaller stuff. And this is definitely one of those where you just get this sprawling view of where the glaciers came through, like I think millions of years ago, and it just cuts a hole through this landscape. And you've seen like Lord of the Rings, right? Like Mordor, how it's like this big, scary looking, jagged mountain range. Like that's what it looks like when you
They're
stand
intimidating, for sure.
Yeah. Honestly, it's even cooler to drive through.
Oh, I bet. I'm looking at your picture here, and it's just incredible because the road looks so tiny below, and I can only imagine like standing up there at that overlook, and it probably looks like ants, the cars as they drive through that area. Oh,
Yeah,
That's
they're
exactly
super,
it.
super.
like itty bitty tiny little BB cars, little nugget cards
That's
fit in
right.
my pocket. That is awesome. And then the next one is number 5, which is Drive the North Cascades Scenic Highway. Now, this highway is pretty massive, stretching about 100+ miles?
Yeah, so actually we've already sort of talked about some of the things that you can do along this. I mean, you can just straight drive it over 100 miles and take in the views all around you. Or you can do a couple of these little spots here and there. There's a ton of overlooks and very short hikes along the way that you can do.
Oh, that's perfect. Which again makes it a great, if you just want to get out, see kind of the scenery, hit some of these smaller hikes if, that's something that you can physically do because you need to hit the smaller ones. That's something that you can do and see these beautiful overlooks. And I love when these scenic byways and highways are out there and available for folks to really get out and enjoy.
Yep.
Yeah. You're doing the up again.
Yeah.
I had an idea.
You had an idea.
We should go there and drive that loop.
We should go there and drive that loop. It's not a loop though, babe. It's probably just like a meow, like a
Okay.
meow,
Well, for us, it's kind of like we enjoy doing the intense hike, and then the very next day we do something like this.
or napping. Napping's always fun after an
Well, the
intense
next day
hike.
we'll do a drive, or we'll go visit a small town, or something like that. So these drives are real nice. Plus, you can get a lot of great shots and all that from these scenic drives.
Absolutely.
Yes, like I'm looking through all your pictures you guys sent over, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's beautiful. Oh wow, look at that one. Ooh, I
Yeah,
like that
it
one
kind
too.
of the drive a little bit. The drive a little bit reminds me of Great Smoky Mountains National Park, where it just naturally runs through there because
Yeah.
that's where they needed to build the road. But like cool things to stop off and do all throughout that park.
Yeah.
So it's very, very interesting.
For a super out of the way, park, it's actually a pretty accessible one once you get in it. So.
Oh, very cool, very cool. Good for folks to know. So number 4 and number 3 kind of go hand in hand. And number 4 is stop by Three Finger Jack's. And I understand there's a great story as to why it's even named Three Finger Jack's. But tell us about Three Finger Jack's and where it is.
So Three Finger Jack's, the story goes that there was this outlaw named Jack who, in a bar fight, lost one of his fingers with, obviously, probably by a gun. But what it is a really cool bar that you can just stop by. Of course, like everything else in the town, it has a really nice old Western facade, and it's just a really cool place to hang out.
And also Washington's oldest legal saloon.
Oh, wow.
Really? Oh, that's so
Yeah.
cool. So it's what I'm reading here. It's been serving whiskey since 1890.
It's a lot of whiskey.
I know
That's
that's
right.
a lot of whiskey.
A lot of whiskey.
I went in there and I asked for 3 fingers of whiskey.
See, I just told him that. So I was pouring some alcoholic beverages for us, and I was like, "Babe, how many fingers do you want? You want like 3 fingers?" And he's like, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, "A pour of whiskey. Do you want like 1 finger pour, or 2 finger pour? Like, how much whiskey do you want?"
I'm so modernized. I just use a shot glass. Actually, I don't even do that. I just pour it straight in the glass.
Is that an ounce and a quarter, or how much is that?
He gets his little scale out and he weighs it.
I actually Googled that the other day. How much is a shot of? Because I'm if I can get my diet locked in, I'm trying to do a fitness show in March, and so I was drinking last week, and so I had my little
So the
scale out there,
diet's
and I
going
was
well.
I was like, well, how much is it? Because I know a shot of Jack is 60 calories. How much is a shot? So I asked Google. It said 1.5 ounces.
Yeah.
Which I saw something else that said 1 ounce. So anyway, but I'm sitting there measuring as I'm pouring my Jack Daniels over the food scale. But anyway.
Yeah, and it turns out it's like a pinky. It's like that much.
Yeah, it's not much. It's like, wow, I way over pour every time I make a drink. But we digress.
I was going to say, I think sometimes it depends on the state because there's only like a legal amount that you can pour in some of the states in the bar. So maybe that's why you got different answers.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh,
We
yeah,
live in
that's
Kentucky,
right.
so
yeah, in Kentucky, I feel like it's
you
no
just
man's
keep
land.
pouring.
You just keep pouring until they say done.
you just keep pouring till you fall on the floor.
Right.
So the bottles.
We used to bartend too.
Okay.
Don't
so
you like hit the floor after tequila number 4 or something like that?
Yes. Tequila
All right.
4 hit the floor. Yes. So
That's it.
number 3 goes hand in hand with what the saloon we just talked about, and this is hang out in the western themed town of Winthrop because that is where I already forgot the name of it. I got to go back to my previous page here. Three Finger Jack's. Thank you. Yeah.
Wow.
See, I know I can't even hold up 3 fingers right now. So tell us about Winthrop because this is like a really cool western town, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it's a Western themed town, but it didn't start that way. I think back in like 1970s, they were trying to draw tourism that was coming to North Cascades National Park, as it was kind of a newer park. And they went with the Western theme, and it is super cool because all the storefronts, every business in there is like has that feel to it.
And they got like little wooden boardwalk that you walk along. It's very cute.
Yeah. And honestly, we're complete suckers for cute mountain
yeah.
towns, but that's like the cherry on top is like, oh,
Make it
Western
Western.
themed. Yeah, make it Western.
That is so fun. I would absolutely love something like that because I'm all about cute and charming and quaint. But then throw Western on top of that because I'm a country bumpkin and now I'm I'm
Right.
literally a happy camper.
That's right.
Pun
That's right.
intended.
Yeah, and it's got all the little shops and cute restaurants and bars,
All
and
the little
so you can
boutiques.
easily spend a day just like poking around there. I think the day we showed up, there was a vintage car show going on
fun.
a Saturday. So it was very cool. Yeah.
So outside of Three Fingers Saloon, is there another place there that you were like, yeah, I would totally go back there?
Ooh. What was the name of that place?
It was that one place that one time you guys went to in Winthrop.
Okay.
Wow.
the name of it, but I'm pretty sure there's only one putt-putt / bakery / candy store / cafe
Oh my
in town.
gosh.
That was probably one of my other favorite
That was
spots there.
That was the place.
That is
and
so
I know I
cool.
can find-
That is great. Literally a little bit of everything in one spot.
So did you putt-putt while you were eating candy? Or did
And
you
then get coffee?
eat candy while you putt-putt? That's interesting.
Unfortunately, we didn't do either. But we did a delicious cinnamon bun that we had there.
Oh, that sounds
There
so
you
good.
go.
Yeah, it was really good.
That sounds so good. So number 2, I'm getting excited about this. This is the Diablo Lake Overlook. Now, is this one of the ones on the Scenic Highway, another one of these stops there?
Yeah, it's a simple pull-off, and it's probably, I mean, I'm just guessing, but to us, it seems like the most popular stop.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Because
when
you get the sprawling sprawling view of the lake, and again, jagged mountain range everywhere, and like turquoise blue water.
Oh, wow. Wow. Beautiful. And do you know, out of curiosity, because I know this is not something that you guys wrote about, do you know if there's like any hikes in and around there? Or is it just this overlook?
No, there's definitely a hike that goes around Diablo Lake as well. And, you know, even though we didn't camp in the actual park itself, there is camping kind of in that area. And I've heard that there's really cool camping that's only paddle up or boat up too. So
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
so we're not going to be able to drag the RV onto the lake and find one of these cool spots. But if you're doing like
Right.
tent camping, backpacking, whatever, that might be a really good idea. Because I think we showed up in a time of year where there wasn't any access to the lake for like paddle boarding. Because that's another thing that we really enjoy doing in as many places as we can. But we couldn't get down there for
Oh, okay.
one of the roads was closed off or something.
there were fires. That's what it was.
In fact, that's right.
Yeah. Those darn fires. I know we had some of that interrupt some things for us as well, but that's really
Yeah.
cool though. So you're able to bring your own paddleboard or kayak and enjoy the lake if the access to the lake is open.
Right. Yeah. And definitely if you're going in shoulder season, it's very dry. So we would suggest definitely check the fire reports and like the road closures and stuff like that, just so you don't like waste your time going up there.
And the best place to do that is the visitor center.
There you go.
Perfect. And then what part of the year is considered shoulder season?
So like October to December, January, after
Okay.
all the kids go back to school pretty much.
So basically they kind of shoulder everybody out.
Yeah, that's
All right, so there is the trail, as Victoria said. It's Diablo Lake Trail. It's 7.2 miles. It's out and back, so it doesn't go completely around the lake. It takes about 3 hours and 38 minutes to do the whole trail. And
what's
it's moderate.
Moderate?
They're
And
calling
then
it, all trails are calling it moderate.
What's the elevation?
Elevation change is 1,509 feet.
I would not call that moderate.
Yeah, that's pretty healthy elevation change.
Yeah, this is what's so comical to me. So, obviously Randy and I are East Coast folks. And so you take a hike on the East Coast and they say moderate and it's like 500-foot elevation gain. You go out west and they're like moderate, like 2,000 feet. Like, that's not moderate. That is crazy strenuous.
yeah.
That's like questioning if I'm going to survive this or not.
Well, and more importantly, it's only 36 degrees right now on the trail is what it's telling me. So.
Again, very, very toasty and brisk.
We'll stay
For
here
the
in Florida.
reminder, what temperature it is outside, Randy. Thank you.
Yes. Hey, you're welcome. We're here to help. That's what we do on the RV Destinations podcast. We help.
Yep.
Oh, and
All
I
right.
also I mentioned that we're nerds, obviously, about some of these geological things. One thing we did learn while we were at Diablo Lake is why it's the color that it is. So when all of the water comes down off of the mountains and from the glaciers, and it actually like breaks things down into what's called glacier flour. Once it gets into the lake itself, it reflects the sun back at you, and it looks super turquoise blue.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool.
Yeah, so it looks
see.
like the lakes up in Banff. It looks a lot like I can't think of the name of the lakes. I don't know why. We've only talked
Lake
about
Louise?
I think that's right.
I think it is.
I think that's one of the
I
mini
get a
lakes up
brownie
there. But
point today.
yeah. All right, we make our way all the way to number one.
We did. Am I
pretty-
going to be able to hear it this time when you hit the button?
We went through these quick. It's only 40 minutes
No,
in.
we blasted through.
Wow, we got to talk about other stuff then.
Okay.
All right, so here we go. Anyway.
All right.
250 strands of light. Drum roll, please.
And the number one thing to do in
See, you're forgetting, aren't you?
North Cascades National Park is
hike the Maple Pass Loop Trail.
tell us
Yes.
about that.
All right, this place sounds amazing, but we got to preface it, folks. It's challenging. So if it's not something that you can physically handle, don't attempt to try this. But tell us about this hike, because this is your number one thing to do there.
This was at the very, very, very top of my bucket list. And if the last hike that you mentioned was moderate, imagine how hard this one must be, huh?
Yes, yes.
I'm pulling it up, actually.
This one's 8 miles. And when we first got here, one of the cool things about my job as a travel nurse is I'm able to talk to a lot of the locals that I work with, and they give me lots of excellent suggestions. And one of their favorite hikes was the Maple Pass Loop, and we made it top of our list. So.
Nice, nice. So what were some of the different features on this hike that you really enjoyed? Is it just kind of like one scenery, multiple different sceneries? Is it a lot of elevation gain?
Okay, well, it's 2,000 feet elevation gain.
Well, that's a couple steps.
Yeah, it's a lot, but the terrain is really cool because you're basically walking through forest on your way up to kind of the higher elevations. And once you get up there, it really opens up, and then you see Lake, I think it was Lake Anne and
one more. You get 2 glacial lakes that you go by.
two. And honestly, if you've never seen one of these alpine lakes in person, it's really beautiful. And this is I think North Cascades, our trip there, it was the first time we do a lot of outdoor activities. First time we've ever seen an alpine lake, and they're just gorgeous. And this thing is absolutely stunning all the way through. It's one of those, we went at the right time of year where all the leaves were changing, and it was just beautiful.
And if you stay in Washington for any amount of time, you will hear the word or hear about the trees, the larches, because they turn the most spectacular color in the fall. And of course, they were just starting to turn when we went there.
Yeah, it's like a golden kind of color, It was very cool.
So All Trails has the length at 6.5 miles, total elevation gain of 2,162 feet. It is a loop, and it is hard. They're saying a hard trail, 4 hours and 9 minutes to complete. This is a very popular area for hiking and running, so you'll likely encounter other people while exploring. The best times to visit the trail are June through October. Dogs are welcome, but must be on a leash.
Okay, are you about to tell the story?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you do this trail, there is a very good recommendation that you go counterclockwise. For the reason that if you go clockwise, it's am I saying that right?
You want to go.
You want to go counterclockwise.
Counter would be you then start off going right. Yeah. You start off going right.
The
is counter.
elevation gain is more gradual, because if you go the other way, you're going to be struggling to get up there. Not to say it's not possible, but our recommendation is to go the other way. Go counterclockwise.
Yeah, and I will say that's the way that we saw most people going. However, we did run into a couple of people, one of them who was trail running this thing.
My gosh.
The other way. So
the hard direction. And we were like, we're dying. We're towards the end of our hike. We're coming down, and I'm like, my old knees. And this guy is sprinting up the trail past us.
And he's barely breathing.
In the hard
he's
section. It was
Excuse me,
incredible.
sir. Yeah. Oh, those trail runners, they amaze me. So we most recently, again, we were in Glacier and had done some hikes and some, decent up the side of a mountain hike. And here comes these trail runners just bouncing along on their toes, flying by. I'm like, are you kidding? And I'm going, I'm good. I can make it, and they're just like, have a great day. Thank you so much.
So reading reading the reviews here on All Trails, the very first review is we did it counterclockwise, and the next one is we did it counterclockwise. So that seems to be a theme. They said up until the mile 3, it was pretty nice, and this is somebody that just hiked it on November 4th.
Oh, wow.
They said it was pretty nice hike, but then the trail disappeared under the snow, and we had to use markers to get through. Again, it sounds like most of them are going counterclockwise, and it got 4.9 out of 5 stars.
Wow.
So that's pretty good.
It's pretty great. And I have to say, though, All Trails is lying. You said it's 6 point something. It's 1,000%, like 8 miles. I swear it's cutting it short.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of
And I
times.
feel like All Trails does that.
They
Uh-huh.
do, and we love to use we download maps all the time
Yeah.
on all these hikes, and we love All Trails,
But I think it's short.
a little inaccurate sometimes on distance.
Yeah.
Well,
Yes.
and I think it also depends on.
They're like, we're going to wait until you actually get to the official
right,
where they
right.
say
cut
it
out
starts.
like any kind of feeder
But we're
trails.
like, wait a
and
second. It took us a mile to get to where we needed to
Right.
start. They're like, yeah, it doesn't matter. That
We
doesn't count.
found that a lot where it's like there's a feeder trail leading to the actual trail, and they don't count that feeder trail, and it's just the.
That trail. Yeah.
But anyway, okay. Well, that's awesome. Well, let's talk about camping in the area.
Yeah.
So I pulled up, and again, this part of the show is sponsored by RV Life, and we're using campgrounds.rvlife.com, which is a free resource to anybody. I pulled up North Cascades National Park, and actually only 3 different campgrounds pulled up, so I'm assuming there's more outside of the park. But these are Goodell's Creek Campground, which got 7.0 out of 10 stars. Then we have New Halem Creek. Are you
Oh,
familiar
honey,
with that?
I love when you try to
Is
pronounce
it New
things.
Halem? Okay.
It is.
New Halem Creek, which is North Cascades National Park, that got 35 reviews, 9.2. And then there's a Colonial Creek. And I believe all these are actually in the national park. But I assume like the one campground we spoke about, and I don't have it here in front of me, but there's a lot of campgrounds probably outside of the park. Is that correct?
Yeah, and actually the New Halem one that you were talking about, they were actually using that campground as for the the fire rescue people.
Okay.
As their
Oh.
Yeah, the base camp was there. So actually a lot of them were closed. It was unfortunate. But yeah, outside there's a decent amount of camping. It's kind of spread out and a little remote, but once you get towards Mazama and Winthrop, there are a couple more campgrounds. And like we stayed at Pearrygin State Park.
Yeah, and honestly, we probably would have tried to stay in the park, but
Fire closures and length of RV.
yeah, and a lot of those campgrounds inside national parks are like 25 feet or less on
Yep.
terms of
Right.
Yep.
Yep.
stuff like that. We're always over that, so unfortunately, that cuts us out of some of those.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you guys were mentioning about this boat-in camping, which I just found on the National Park website. Boat-in camping is available on Ross Lake, Diablo Lake, and Lake Chelan. So,
Yep.
For those that are like,
that would be really cool.
Super
For
adventurous.
you could find somebody to do that with, honey. It'd be so fun.
So there's another very similar experience where you can fly into the Dry Tortugas in Key West, from Key West to the Dry Tortugas.
Yeah.
And then you can camp overnight on Fort Jefferson there. And I want to do that terribly bad. She doesn't want to do it. But
Randy,
it's
we'll
warm
do it.
there.
all right,
Yeah, Victoria, we're
game.
going to the spa that day, right?
Let's go.
All right, that's a game. We'll totally do it. All right, we appreciate that everything. You coming on the show and talking about Cascades. Now you guys have a very successful YouTube channel. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your channel, what you're doing out there,
Yeah,
and what you
what
got going
folks
on there?
how they can find you, and then kind of the information you're giving them.
Yeah, all right. Well, let's call it mildly successful. But yes, we
I like
We
to say
do-
wildly successful.
yeah.
There we go. I like that.
Put that in the edit. Yeah, I mean, basically from the start of us deciding to do our whole RV life, I came from a radio background, and I kind of really wanted to like a radio media background where I really just felt like it'd be fun to document, mostly for our own memories.
Sure.
Because we're both a little forgetful sometimes, and you have so much fun and you forget how much fun you had, and it's fun to look back on. But then we decided to throw it on YouTube, and we just kept doing it every week. And essentially we have most weeks on a Sunday we drop a new episode, and we've lived in 9 states, and these are jobs that she's taken like a hospital job in. And essentially when she has the time off, we try and explore all the surrounding areas of the state that we can get to, all the cool outdoor stuff. So that's a lot what our channel focuses on: where to stay, what to do, what to eat, what to drink, where to camp, that kind of thing, what to hike.
Cool, quirky places to take photos,
Yeah.
little things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like
yeah.
the weird things.
Yeah.
Well, and as I told you guys, and I was dead serious, I think you're outside of Keep Your Daydreams, which I did watch a lot of their episodes from beginning to end, I think you're the only channel that I watched 2 or 3 videos from beginning to end. And I say that because I start a lot of videos, and just like everybody else on YouTube,
ADD, ADHD sets in. You're
within
like,
5-6 minutes, it's like, okay, this is not going the direction I want it to, and you come off. But I really enjoyed your content. I think you're putting out good, informative content, so we appreciate that. I know.
Absolutely, yeah. Shout out to Mark and Trish from Keep Your Daydream, because that's where I learned anything that I know.
Yeah, we use them as a huge resource.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's awesome. And that's really what it's all about. I mean, it's the RV community as a whole, and I've said this to anybody out there listening that's not an RVer, we're really a different breed of people, but we are all about, like, you want to do this? Oh, we're totally going to help you do this. We're going to tell you all the great stuff. We're going to tell you all the bad stuff. We're going to tell you all the amazing things you're going to see. We're going to tell you all the horrible things you're going to go through. And it's going to be incredible. And we're going to do this as a community. And it really is. And that's what I love about the RV life, is that everybody is so helpful. And we are putting so much information out there for other folks to go, you know what? I want to try this out. I've heard about this. Where do I get started? How do I do this? And boom, here you go. Here's the folks.
Yeah, absolutely. And for us, the Project RV Living Lost channel is what we're called.
Oh, that would help.
Yeah, I don't think I mentioned that. But so we're probably not the people that you're going to go to learn how to reseal, like,
your
window.
Right.
Or
we have little episodes here and there where we'll do some of the more DIY stuff, like how to fix, we've had toilet problems in the past, things like that. So if we come across it, we will definitely record it and include it. But a lot of it is more fun and travel based.
Yeah. And I mean, there's plenty of people to learn that type of stuff from.
Absolutely.
We're just not the ones.
Right. Because when it boils down to it, we're doing everybody that's doing this RV life is doing it not to learn about how to fix their black tank sensor. It's about getting out and exploring this incredible country of ours and finding all those nook and crannies outside of all these big cities and big locations that everybody does and everybody goes to.
That's right.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, in our 4 years of RVing, we've probably seen more of this country than all of our years combined.
Yeah,
that's incredible.
Well, that's awesome. We appreciate you guys coming on the show and sharing your experience with North Cascades National Park.
Why are we struggling with that?
I want to call it Cascades. I didn't realize it was called North.
I didn't realize it was North Cascades either.
But anyway, you want to take us out, babe?
Yes. So thank you both, Thomas and Victoria, for joining us today, and really appreciate having you in here. And we want to thank all of you out there for joining us in here at the RV Destinations Podcast. Be sure to get out there, rate, review, and subscribe to our podcast wherever you find podcasts, wherever you listen to your podcast. And please don't forget that we are now out on YouTube. So anytime you want to see our happy, shiny faces, please get out there and subscribe to our channel, because when you subscribe, you're always going to be updated with our newest content, and you want that content because it's going to help you. And our dog she's very adamant about that. She is very much agreeing with what I'm having to say. So now I lost my train of thought. Oh, don't forget to get out to our website, rvdestinationsmagazine.com/subscribe. Use the code podcast20, podcast20, and you're going to save 20% off. It's the dog.
She's not stopping.
I know. 20% off any of our subscriptions.
We're completely professional here.
So professional. So anyway, it's way after Christmas, but we're recording this around Christmas. So Merry Christmas. And we hope you have a great and wonderful and blessed Christmas season.
All right. Safe travels.
Safe travels, y'all.